One, two, three. Good morning, dear teacher, dear community. At this moment, we are beginning our recitation of the 5 mindfulness trainings. So we'd like to invite friends who are online to participate with us. We will stand up with the sound of the small bell, and then we practice incense offering and touching the earth to the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. And then after that, we will sit down and chant opening verse of the sutra, and then we'll chant the Heart Sutra, and then we'll do the Sangha Karman procedure, and then we will recite the 5 trainings. If you have the text with you, please follow along. If not, please listen and follow your breathing as the ceremony unfolds. And then we will finish with reciting the Buddha and the Bodhisattva's name to send energy, and then we will end with sharing the merit verse. Thank you very much, and please enjoy the ceremony.
In gratitude we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be presence as earth herself, reflecting careful effort, wholehearted awareness, and the full of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. the one who bows and the one who is bowed to, are both by nature empty. Therefore the communication between them is inexpressibly perfect. Our practice center is an enter in trial, reflecting all Buddhas everywhere. And with my person in front of each Buddha, I go with my whole life forever. Offering light in the 10 directions, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, to we bow in gratitude. Teaching and living the way of awareness in the very midst of suffering and confusion. Shakyamuni Buddha, the fully enlightened one, to whom we bow in gratitude. Cutting through ignorance, awakening our hearts and our minds. Manjushri, the Bodhisattva, great understanding, to whom we bow in gratitude. Working mindfully, working joyfully, for the sake of all beings. Samantabhadra, the Bodhisattva, great action, to whom we bow in gratitude. Listening deeply, serving beings in countless ways. Avalokitesvara, Bodhisattva, great compassion, to whom we bow in gratitude. fearless and persevering through realms of suffering and darkness. Shitigaba, the Bodhisattva, great aspiration, to whom we bow in gratitude. Mother Buddhas, Bodhisattvas and all beings, nourishing, holding and healing all. Bodhisattva Gaya, great Mother Earth, precious jewels of the cosmos, to whom we bow in gratitude. Radiating light in all directions, source of life on earth. Mahavarottatathagata, great Father Son, Buddha of infinite light and life, to whom we bow in gratitude. Showing the way fearlessly and compassionately, the stream of all our ancestral teachers, to whom we bow in gratitude. Namo tassa bhagavato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The Dharma is dear and lovely. We now have attempted to see, study, and to practice it. We vow to realize its true meaning. The inside up inches to the other shore. While practicing deeply with the inside that reaches to the other shore, suddenly discover that all of the five skandhas are equally empty, and with this realization he overcame all ill being. Listen, Shariputra, this body itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is this body. This body is not other than emptiness, and emptiness is not other than this body. The shape is true of feelings, perceptions, mental formation, and consciousness. Listen, Shariputra, all phenomena bear the mark of emptiness. Yet to nature is a nature of no birth, no death, no being, no non-being, no development, no purity, no increasing, no increasing. That's why in emptiness, body, feelings, perception, mental formations, and consciousness are not separate self-entities. The eight realms of phenomena which are the sense organs, system, objects, senses, consciousnesses are also not separate self-entities. The challenge of interdependence arising, and their intentions are also not separate self-entities. You being the cause of us, you being the end of you, being the power inside and entertainment are also not separate self-entities. Whoever can see this no longer needs anything to attain. Bodhisattvas who practice the inside research to the other shore, see no more obstacles in the mind, and because there are no more obstacles in the mind, all fear destroy, all rubber redemption and realize perfect nirvana. All Buddhas in the past, present and future, by practicing the insada princess to the other shore, are all capable of attaining authentic and perfect enlightenment. Therefore, Shariputra, it should be known that the insada princess to the other shore is a great mantra, the most emulating mantra, the highest mantra, a mantra beyond compare, the true wisdom that has the power to put an end to non-kinds of suffering. Therefore, let us proclaim a mantra to praise the insada princess to the other shore. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgate, bodhisvaha. Sangha Karman procedure. Has the entire community assembled?
The entire community has assembled.
Is there harmony in the community?
Yes, there is harmony.
Is there anyone not able to be present who has asked to be represented? And have they declared themselves to have done their best to study and practice the trainings?
No, there is not.
Why has the community assembled today?
The community has assembled to recite the 5 mindfulness trainings.
Noble community, please listen. Today, the 3rd of May, the year 2020, has been chosen as the day to recite the 5 mindfulness trainings. The community has assembled at the appointed time and is ready to recite and to hear the trainings in an atmosphere of harmony. Thus, the recitation can proceed. It is statement clear and complete. Brothers and sisters in the community, this is the moment when we enjoy reciting the 5 mindfulness trainings together. The 5 mindfulness trainings represent the Buddhist vision for a global spirituality and ethic. They are a concrete expression of the Buddha's teachings on the 4 Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, the path of right understanding and true love, leading to healing, transformation, and happiness for ourselves and for the world. To practice the 5 mindfulness trainings is to cultivate the insight of interbeing, or right view, which can remove all discrimination, intolerance, anger, fear, and despair. If we live according to the 5 mindfulness trainings, we are already on the path of a bodhisattva. Knowing we are on that path, we are not lost in confusion about our life in the present or in fears about the future. We ask the community to listen with a serene mind. Consider the mindfulness trainings as a clear mirror in which to look at ourselves. Say yes silently every time you see that during the past month you have made an effort to study, practice, and observe the mindfulness training read. Brothers and sisters, are you ready? These then are the 5 mindfulness trainings. The first mindfulness training, reverence for life. Aware of the suffering caused by destruction of life, I am committed to cultivating the insight of interbeing and compassion, and learning ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to support any acts of killing in the world, in my thinking or in my way of life. Seeing that harmful actions arise from anger, fear, greed, and intolerance, which in turn come from dualistic and discriminative thinking. I will cultivate openness, non-discrimination, and non-attachment to views in order to transform violence, fanaticism, dogmatism in myself and in the world. This is the first mindfulness training. Have we made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past month? The second mindfulness training, true happiness. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I am committed to practicing generosity in my thinking, speaking, and acting. I am determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. And I will share my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. I will practice looking deeply to see that the happiness and suffering of others are not separate from my own happiness and suffering. That true happiness is not possible without understanding and compassion. And that running after wealth, fame, power, and sensual pleasures can bring much suffering and despair. I am aware that happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on external conditions, and that I can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that I already have more than enough conditions to be happy. I am committed to practicing right livelihood so that I can help reduce the suffering of living beings on earth and stop contributing to climate change. This is the second mindfulness training. Have we made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? The third mindfulness training, true love. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I am committed to cultivating responsibility and learning ways to protect the safety, integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. Knowing that sexual desire is not love, and that sexual activity motivated by craving always harms myself as well as others. I am determined not to engage in sexual relations without true love and a deep long-term commitment made known to my family and friends. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. Seeing that body and mind are one, I am committed to learning appropriate ways to take care of my sexual energy and cultivating loving kindness, compassion, joy, and inclusiveness, which are the four basic elements of true love, for my greater happiness and the greater happiness of others. Practicing true love, we know that we will continue beautifully into the future. This is the third mindfulness training. Have we made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? The fourth mindfulness training, loving speech and deep listening. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others, I am committed to cultivating loving speech and compassionate listening in order to relieve suffering and to promote reconciliation and peace in myself and among other people, ethnic and religious groups and nations. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I am committed to speaking truthfully using words that inspire confidence, joy, and hope. When anger is manifesting in me, I am determined not to speak. I will practice mindful breathing and walking in order to recognize and to look deeply into my anger. I know that the roots of anger can be found in my wrong perceptions and lack of understanding of the suffering in myself and in the other person. I will speak and listen in a way that I can help myself and the other person to transform suffering and see the way out of difficult situations. I am determined not to spread news that I do not know to be certain and not to utter words that can cause division or discord. I will practice right diligence to nourish my capacity for understanding, love, joy, and inclusiveness, and gradually transform anger, violence, and fear that lie deep in my consciousness. This is the fourth mindfulness training. Have we made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? The fifth mindfulness training, nourishment and healing. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I am committed to cultivating good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society, by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will practice looking deeply into how I consume the four kinds of nutriments, namely edible foods, sense impressions, volition, and consciousness. I am determined not to gamble or to use alcohol, drugs, or any other products which contain toxins, such as certain websites, electronic games, TV programs, films, magazines, books, and conversations. I will practice coming back to the present moment to be in touch with the refreshing, healing, and nourishing elements in me and around me, not letting regrets and sorrow drag me back into the past, nor letting anxieties, fear, or craving pull me out of the present moment. I am determined not to try to cover up loneliness, anxiety, or other suffering by losing myself in consumption. I will contemplate, intervene, and consume in a way that preserves peace, joy, and well-being in my body and consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family, my society, and the earth. This is the 5th mindfulness training. Have we made an effort to study, practice, and observe it during the past months? Dear brothers and sisters, we have decided the 5 mindfulness trainings as the community has wished. We thank all our brothers and sisters for helping us to do it serenely.
Xin quý thầy và đại chúng từ bi gửi năng lượng cầu siêu cho Hương Linh Tiết Kim Dũng mất ngày 3 tháng 5 năm 2020, hưởng thọ 60 tuổi, tại Châu Hòa, Dòng Trơm, Bến Tre. Thành kính biết ơn quý thầy và đại chúng. Con Pháp Điện. Dear Sangha, now we will recite the Buddha's and the Bodhisattva's name to send energy. Please send your compassionate energy to Tiết Kim Dũng, who died on the 3rd of May 2020. He was 60 years old at Bến Tre, Vietnam. Thank you. And also send your loving energy to all of those who are affected by the COVID-19. Thank you.
Nam mô Đức Bổn Sư Bụt Sa Kya Bồ Đề. Nam mô Đức Bổn Sư Bụt Sa Kya Bồ Đề. Bổn Sư Bụt Sa Kya Bồ Đề. Nam mô Ta Đại Trí Ban Sư Suy. Nam mô Đức Bồ Tát Đại Trí Reciting the trainings, practicing the way awareness, with rise to benefit without limit, without to share the fruits we all beings, without to offer tribute to perish the interest, friends and numerous beings who give guidance and support along the path.
So thank you, dear brothers, and thank you, dear friends, for participating in our recitation session. And we hope you enjoy your day, and please continue your practice of mindfulness. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.